All right, guys. Thanks for getting on the Team Fit and Fabulous call tonight. It is, oh gosh, what is today? It's the 12th of July. I mean, August. Oh my goodness. Okay, it is the 12th of August. I'm with you. And we are going to talk tonight about hobby versus career because those are two very different things. And if you're wanting to be a hobby coach, I think that's great. And if you want to work it as a career, Amber is going to walk you through those steps of exactly what you need to do and kind of the differences so you know where you fit. Because a lot of times, at least for myself, in the very beginning, I thought, oh, I am working the business. I want to do this. And then when it was like shown to me like this in this kind of format, I was like, dude, I'm acting like a hobby coach, but I'm wanting to be a business builder. And so it really put everything into perspective for me. And so I hope that it will for you too, just to kind of let you know exactly where you need to grow and where you need to change if you're wanting to be a business builder and vice versa. So I am going to go ahead and hand the mic over to Amber and let her take it over. So I'm going to mute myself. Hold on just a second.
All right. Thank you, Kelsey. Super excited. I'm pretty nervous, but I'm pretty excited to speak to you guys on the call today. So I'll go ahead and get started. My screen's kind of freezing, so hopefully you guys can hear me and see everything. I'm getting a nod. Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Amber Newman, like Kelsey mentioned. I am married to my husband for 2 years. His name is Alex, and he's a farmer. I'm from a small town in southern Ohio. I am a full-time registered nurse. I did the bedside nursing thing for a few years, but now I am a case manager with Hospice of Hope, which means nothing to you. I don't know why I told you the name of my company. It's just a hospice company, but I work full-time. 40 hours a week. I occasionally do on-call, which puts me at like 12 days in a row with over 100 hours, and it can get kind of crazy. But I'm also involved in multiple ministries in my church, and I'm very involved with my family, and I'm actually 7 months pregnant with my first baby. He is due at the beginning of November. So kind of a little background story about me as a coach. I first started with Beachbody. I did my first challenge group with Lindsay in June of 2014. I reached out to her from Instagram, and I didn't purchase anything. I used TurboFire, which I had already had. And I joined her group. I didn't buy Shakeology or anything. I was completely free. So don't be afraid of your free customers because they might turn into something. But I did it. I did her challenge group. I loved it. I signed up as a coach not too long after that first challenge group, just because I really wanted to do, I really just wanted to have the accountability and do challenge groups forever. So I signed up as a coach, and within my first month, I hit Success Club and earned the call with Carl. And then I hit Success Club the next 2 months, which got me my Success Starters, and that gets you a ticket to Summit. So I went to Summit last month with a few of the other coaches. I'm sure you saw pictures. But it wasn't really until after those first 3 months that I realized that I was seeing success, and I realized what this business could do. Up until that point, I just really wanted the accountability. But I've always had a dream to be a stay-at-home mom. That was something my mom was able to do for us growing up. And that was just something that was really important. I wanted to be able to stay home with my kids, and just be there for my family. But with my husband being a farmer, I was the one that, well, I still am, I carry the insurance. So I'd kind of counted that dream out, really until Beachbody came along. And when I decided that, I was going to use this, I kind of like Kelsey said, I thought I was a full-time coach. I thought I was, working this, but I really wasn't that consistent when I looked at it. I would go through spurts where I was like all in and real like awesome, being crazy. But then I would have spurts where I wasn't, and I just really wasn't being that consistent. So in my head, this was my way out, but I really wasn't treating it like my full-time career. At the beginning of this year, I was kind of looking at going diamond and realized that I really needed to step it up, inviting to the business opportunity. But my why became real on March 1st when I found out I was pregnant. And that's when I decided, this was it. I had 9 months to make my dream a reality and really work on that why. I had been consistently hitting Success Club, but my business just was not stable. So why am I boring you with this story about me? Well, basically, it took me a full year, maybe a little over. I hit Diamond the week after Summit. And that was about the same time that I had signed up as a coach the year before. A lot of people set that goal to hit Diamond within a year. A lot of us that are Diamond or above Diamond, it took us that time, but it doesn't have to. If you are consistently working this business and going all in, you can hit Diamond way sooner than a year. And so I kind of wanted to just do this, speak on this topic to kind of go through the differences between a hobby coach and a career coach so you can better identify where you're at. And then if you need to make changes, you can do that because it's better to make changes now than wait and be like, oh man, I should have been doing this already. So before I get started, I want to say, kind of like Kelsey mentioned, if you are a hobby coach and that's what you want to do, there is nothing wrong with that. Like, if that's what you want out of this business, that's great. So as I'm going through these things, I don't want you to feel like hobby coach is a negative thing. But if your toes are getting stepped on a little bit, it's probably because you want to be a career coach, but you're actually working as a hobby. So I know my toes got stepped on a little bit when I heard, calls like this. So just own the business where you're at right now. Your business is where you've worked it to be, and be proud of that. And if you want to make changes, then that's great. But I just don't want hobby coach to be something that's negative. Okay. So this is what a hobby coach looks like. A hobby coach is someone that loves and uses Beachbody products. They don't always think about sharing or notice opportunities to share. Someone may say like, oh, hey, you look great. What have you been doing? And they may just say in passing like, oh, I've been doing the 21-day fix or whatever. But they don't use it as an opportunity to share. And they don't always move conversations to Beachbody, or maybe initiate conversations about Beachbody or health or fitness or whatever. As far as social media goes, they will post, but it's never really intentional, or it's rarely, I guess I shouldn't say never, it's rarely intentional. But, they'll just maybe post a motivational quote or a picture, something they found on Pinterest here or there, or general comments about their day. And then as far as the business goes, they pretty much know the basics. They know how to, do stuff for themselves. They know basic of website and the business side, but they really are relying more on their coach to answer some of the more difficult questions if they come up, if, they are working with other customers. And then they do tend to let some other things get in the way, jobs, vacations, families, or even just not feeling like working it. So what will they get out of being a hobby coach? So some of the things that a hobby coach will get is accountability with their journey, happier, healthier lives, motivation from their team and just from the Beachbody world in general. They'll have income, but it's usually lower and it's kind of random. It's not consistent. It's not weekly. And and they could rank advance. You can have hobby coaches that are emerald or diamond, but the difference is that you won't really be seeing the cycle bonuses. You won't be seeing the residual income. You won't have that consistency. So that's kind of just the overview of a hobby coach. A career coach is obviously different. And this is kind of what a career coach looks like. Now, if you don't like match all of these, it doesn't mean you're not a career coach. What they get and how this looks is something that's kind of ongoing. You kind of have to work toward it. So you may not really look like a career coach now, but you're doing the things to get there eventually. So don't count yourself out if you don't feel like you fall under these categories. So a career coach is working in an office or a designated space. They plan their activities. They're consistent with monthly challenge groups, consistently hitting at least Success Club 5. They're consistently inviting to challenge groups and the coaching opportunity. They have business hours. And they have intentional crafted content to share with the public or with their team. They reach down to help more than just their direct downline. They provide calls and trainings to support the entire team. And they set goals for their week, month, and year. And they also have no matter what's that happen no matter what. So what does a career coach get out of being a career coach? So they will have a purpose-driven life that they have designed. They have freedom. They have unlimited growth potential personally and financially. They have that consistent residual income. They have a team of like-minded people who are working towards similar goals. And they also have what the hobby coach has. So they have the accountability. Their lives are happier and healthier. They have the motivation, and they have the rank advancements. So you can see kind of the difference between the two. And to me, the career coach, what they get out of it sounds a lot better, but not everybody wants that, and that's fine. So I'll get into, I have 3 things, just for those of us who are wanting to be career coaches. These are the things that you need to make sure you're doing. So number 1, you want to prioritize your time and set your business hours. Prioritize your time and set your business hours. So for me personally, I work 8 to 4:30, 9 to 5 type job, whatever. And I know that the evenings, generally from 7 to 10 p.m., that's when I'm going to work. It's not always 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It doesn't have to be that exact, like, very rigid time frame. But in general, that's what you need to stick to. You need to know when you're going to be working. People, like, if you're thinking of a business, like a physical business that you'd go to, people aren't going to go to a business if they never know when it's open. If the owner's just like, oh, I'll open the store when I have time or when I can fit it in, that business isn't going to do well. Now, you know, we work online, so it's a little different, but you have to plan. You have to know when you're going to work. You have to say, okay, I'm going to work before the kids get up, at nap time, and when they go to bed. It's not always going to be the same time. Kids don't always sleep at the exact same time. You know, your job may keep you out a little longer than you had planned, or, you know, something might come up, but you know, going into that day, this is the time frame that I'm going to work, and this is the time frame. You can't just fit it in, because you're never just going to find time to work it. You have to make the time. And during those hours, you have to have a plan. You can't just go into it haphazardly. One thing you want to make sure you're doing is filling out your bat. You know, the bat is where it's at, and that sounds corny, but it's true. You know, I'm not sitting here telling you at all that I'm the perfect bat filler outer, because I am totally not. But in the 13 months I've been coaching and listening to national wake-up calls and trainings, no one has ever said that the bat wasn't like the key to the castle. You have to have a plan. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to be filling it out, because those are the things that make this business work. So start drinking the Kool-Aid. Just do it. And it also helps you respect your time. When we were at Summit, one of the coaches, Michelle Myers, she said, and she was quoting something else, but she said, with every yes, there is a no. So every time you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So you have to choose your no's and your yeses wisely. I don't want you to miss the first day of kindergarten to work this business. You have to have priorities, but not everything can be a priority. If you're a career coach, then this business needs to be a priority. And you have to respect the time, because you are taking time away from your family or, whatever it is to work this business. So respect that time by actually working the business while you're working the business. So the first point was prioritize your time and set your business hours. Second point is to show up consistently. And I don't know if Naeem was on this, but I know she's going to give me a big amen when she hears it. You have to think and act like you're the CEO of this business, because you are. This is your business. And I got a couple fist pumps, but this is your business. I mean, you are the CEO, and you really have to think about that, because if this was like a physical business somewhere, you would not be like brushing stuff off. And if it didn't only cost whatever, $40 to start, like, this is such an incredible opportunity, but we don't look at it as our business and that we are the CEO. So some things that as the CEO you need to make sure you're doing is going to the mandatory meetings. You need to be on the national wake-up call every week. You have to. You need to make sure you're doing Janelle's trainings, Kelsey's trainings. You have to utilize them. And honestly, they're giving us success on a silver platter. We just have to pick up the utensils and use them. Super Saturdays, go to them. Summit, be there. If you're not already signed up, you need to sign up for Summit like yesterday. These are mandatory meetings. You're the CEO. Why wouldn't you show up to the meetings? You have to know what's going on. You have to know how you're going to be able to best run this business so you can be successful. You also want to make sure that the people under you are getting started right, because they're CEOs too. And you want to make sure that you're giving them the tools. So do a getting started right call with every new coach, whether they want to work the business or not. And then consistently as the CEO, you need to be doing certain things. Janelle has the critical core activities call that we all kind of listen to if you are in the Diamond training group. But you want to make sure that you're doing all of these things consistently. And they all don't have to be every day. Some of them are monthly, but these are the things you want to do. You want to do everything on your bat every day. You want to run challenge groups monthly. You want to know your story and share it at least monthly. And this doesn't mean you have to have some like life-altering, crazy story, but know where you were. Where were you before you started Beachbody? And where are you now? You may still be in the middle of your journey, but I can promise you that things are probably looking a little better than they were before you started. So make sure you know your story and you're talking about it and sharing it. You want to do one-on-one calls with your team and do team calls. And those probably need to be monthly and then as needed. Sometimes you might need to do a little pep talk here and there. Hit Success Club every month. Set a calendar and follow it every month. Track your business daily. Kind of like goes back with the bat. And then you want to review your goals daily, weekly, and monthly and reevaluate them. Like I mentioned earlier, don't wait until the end of the month or the end of the year to say, oh, that wasn't working out. Make sure you're reevaluating. And then you want to make sure you're helping others achieve their goals, whether it's with their business, whether it's financial, or maybe they just need to drink more water. You are their coach. So be their coach every day. That needs to happen every day. And that kind of leads into this next point. And it's the third point. You need to create opportunities and exceed expectations. You need to be intentional with your business. This business is not going to happen on its own. And even if you do have people that are coming to you, you're wasting mega growth opportunity by not being intentional and being proactive. If you're just being reactive, your business is going to be super slow growing. And then I know I fell under that category. I was definitely a reactive coach for a while. And I wasn't being intentional. You also need to believe you have something of value to offer when you're leading or when you're doing, having those conversations. When you are talking about products, or the business, or even just, what you have to offer as a coach, believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you're offering, because if people don't believe in you and in your business, then you're not really going to get very far. You want to run business opportunity calls and sneak peeks, and you want to always be in recruiting mode. And that can sound kind of like sketchy, but you do not have to be like slimy about it, but just always be listening to people. Listen to them when they're talking to you and asking questions, and look for those opportunities to recruit, whether it's to a free group or a challenge group or to the coaching opportunity. You want to share your calendar with your team and teach them what you're doing. And it doesn't matter if you're 15-star, 3-star, 1-star, or you're not even Emerald yet. Your level of service is what matters. Your level of service is what matters. The title comes when the actions are done. People like Janelle and Lindsay and Melanie, they might seem like they're just these, perfect people that, success just happened to. But those girls worked their butts off serving people and helping people. And that's how they got to where they are. It did not just happen. So deliver on your promises. Start when you say you're going to start. Have a strong work ethic, and do for one what you'd do for a group. Help everyone like no one else will. You are their only hope. Okay, so prioritize your time, set your business hours, show up consistently, create opportunities, and exceed expectations. Okay, now I'm going to run through, it just keeps going. I'm going to run through what you need to do at your current rank. It's nothing real crazy. You want to make sure you're doing the critical or core activities, the BAT, yada, yada. But these are things that you want to make sure you are doing so that you can become a more career-minded coach. So if you are just a coach working to Emerald, you want to track your customers. Who you talk to, how you talk to them, what you talked about, and how you're going to follow up. You also want to track your business hours. That can be done by filling out your BAT, the business activity tracker. I keep saying BAT. I guess I should say business activity tracker in case you don't know what that is. And then also track what you're doing during that time. Are you actually working and filling out your BAT? Or are you spending 3 hours on Facetune and Canva trying to make the perfect post? I've been there, done that. So no judgment here. But you want to respect that time. So make sure that you are tracking your business hours as well as your customers. You want to make sure your websites are set up. You want to create a why I became a coach video. Even if the only 2 coaches you have underneath of you are your mom and your spouse, make the video. And start a Facebook group for your team. Even if you just have one coach, your team needs to see you as the leader. You can totally keep them in your uplines group. Like, that's totally fine. But as soon as you sign that first coach, you need to make your Facebook group. And then you want to save everything. Don't, have to scurry and find things or ask your coach or look in here, look in there. When you get something, when you get a tool or a guide or a document, save it. I highly recommend using a laptop, but if you're still working from a phone or an iPad, make sure you have something like Dropbox or even Evernote or Asana so that you can save stuff. But I would make getting a laptop a goal just so you can have, it's your business. You got to have a laptop to work. And then every day, 3 vital behaviors. It's part of the BAT, but make sure you're doing that as well. So coach working to Emerald, you want to track, set up your websites, make the video, start your Facebook group for your team, and then save all your documents. If you're Emerald to Diamond, working Emerald to Diamond, you want to do everything I just mentioned, but you also want to start making things for your team and passing things on. Stuff like templates for conversations, how to fit someone into a challenge group or with a challenge pack or a product. Scripts like what is a challenge group, what is Shakeology, what is coaching, and then a how-to for setting up challenge groups, coach groups, new coach calls. All those are already available to you. If you need one of those things and you can't find it on your team page or wherever, ask, because those are already done for you. But you want to try to eventually get to where you're making those things into your own words, and then passing that on to your team. And then if you're Diamond, working to Star Diamond, you want to have a recognition system. What is rewarded is repeated. Recognize everything. Celebrate everything. And don't just recognize your coaches. Recognize your challengers. Recognize your coaches' coaches. Recognize everybody. Celebrate everything. It's all a party all the time. You also want to run Coach Basics. You want to do team calls and webinars. You want to show your team what you're doing and keep track of where your coaches are in their training. And then for Star Diamond and above, you really just want to focus on edifying and building up your leaders and providing new content for your downline. You want to create a system that lets leaders lead. So I feel like we have pretty good examples. We have awesome examples, actually, of all of those things. From, Diamond, Star Diamond, Kelsey and Lindsay and Naima are excellent with all those things. So if you're ever not sure what you need to do, just watch them and do what they're doing. So that's kind of it. That's really all I had. But there is one more thing I want y'all to do. And I want you to get out a piece of paper. Just tear off an extra sheet. It needs to be separate. And I want you, and if you don't have a piece of paper right now, if you're just like on your phone or something, make a little note to do this because I want you to physically write this down, everybody. So take a little piece of paper and write down every excuse that you use to not work your business. Write it down. All of the excuses that you use to not work your business. All of the things that you tell yourself that keep you from being the coach you want to be, from living the life you want to live, from being the person God created you to be. Write all that down. I'll wait for some eyes. It can be one thing or 5 things, whatever. Too tired, you have a job, you have kids, whatever it is. All right. Now think about your why. Think about why it is. You don't have to write. You can write it down if you want. But think about why it is you're doing this business. Why you're making these sacrifices. Your why should make you cry. What is it? Why are you doing this? Now, below all your excuses, I want you to write these 3 things. I matter. My why matters. And I can do this. Write them down. I matter. My why matters. And I can do this. Now put a big old X through your excuses. And I want you to hang this up on your mirror, by your wherever you want it, by your laptop, wherever it is, on the inside of a folder where you keep your bats. I want you to keep this because this life is not easy. Coaching and doing all the millions of other things that you're doing, it's not easy. Getting those messages from challengers and people that say, you made a difference. You changed my life. I am so thankful I found you. Those things will add some wood to your fire, but it will go out. Those excuses will get in the way. Those excuses, those carefully crafted lies that you tell yourself, they're like water on the fire. They will try to put it out. But if you remember your why, if you remember that you matter and that your why matters and that you can do this, that fire will never go out. It'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger until you're living the life you imagine and dream for yourself. And then you're going to be able to enjoy that fire anytime, anywhere, and with anyone you choose. So remember, the reason why you don't want to show up is the exact reason why you should. And that is all I have. So I will open it up for questions if you guys have anything.
First of all, that was amazing. Oh my gosh. That call was just like jaw-dropping. Like the whole time I'm like, yes. Oh my gosh. So good, Amber. And I didn't say this in the beginning and I forgot, but she just went diamond like what, a couple weeks ago?
The end of June or July. Yeah. Right after Summit.
So this is our newest diamond on our team. I'm so excited about that. I can't believe I spaced that. Sorry about that.
Okay. No worries. Does anyone have any questions or did I go too fast through anything that I need to?
I thought it was perfect.
Back over. No questions at all? I see my mom on the call.
Amber's mom. I just want to tell you how proud I am of you. I'm just having a moment, but just because I know, like you said, this is not easy. This is not an easy lifestyle, and that's why most people don't continue with it. And you and I talk all the time, and we share our struggles, and I'm just really proud of you for pushing through. Being pregnant is not easy, and you are rocking it. So you could have every excuse in the book right now, and you still are pushing. So I just want to tell you I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have an awesome team. I don't know if y'all realize that, but we do. I'm just going to keep talking until someone has a question, but since I just went diamond, I was invited to a new diamond. I don't even think Kelsey knows this, but I was invited to a new diamond training group with corporate. And I did my first call with them yesterday. And there were some things that our corporate guy wanted us to do. And I was like, our team already does this stuff. Like figuring out your goals and reverse engineering and setting up little, accountability things. And we have this push to diamond group going. And I'm like, we got this. We know what we're doing. So kudos to Kelsey for being an awesome leader and having our backs. We are on a good team. No one has any questions at all?
I just wanted to say really quick, you talked about a monthly calendar. And for those of you that have not jumped on or are in my group, I know I do a monthly calendar, and it's the pin post in the team page. So if you're brand new to the group and you're like, I don't know what Kelsey's calendar even looks like, check the pin post out because it breaks down exactly what I'm doing this month. So I just want to make sure that everyone knew about that too.
Yes. Okay. Trying to look through. I just got a Mac and I was worried that I wouldn't be able to figure it out. So I had my stuff up and I printed everything off. It's like double making sure I was going to be able to actually talk to you guys.
So I have a question. If you're thinking, okay, I am a business builder, and you came into this call like this is my career, right? And then you're like, oh gosh, there's some things I need to improve on. Like, I know, I mean, I'm not going to lie. There's some things in there that I was like, I could get better at that because I'm not perfect. What would you tell that person that? It was like, do you like, because I know it's easy to feel like your toes got stepped on a little bit. Like, it's easy to feel like that. And it's not you, it's just, it needs to be heard. So like, what would you tell that person that's feeling that way right now?
I mean, it's super overwhelming at first, especially if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing any of these things. So where I would definitely start is, if you're not filling out your BAT every day, start with that. That is really the foundation of this business. You need to make sure you're doing those things, doing the 3 vital behaviors, and listening to personal development. That's all covered within the BAT, but that is definitely where I would start off. And then as you get more comfortable with figuring out your BAT and doing that, maybe add some of those more team-minded things and just kind of let it snowball from there. Do not try to do all this week, because then you're going to hate yourself and hate me and hate everybody and not want to do it anymore. So just take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time. Set goals. If you have questions, ask questions. But I would definitely start off with the BAT. And if you're not in a coach training group, make sure that you are taking that opportunity, because I know everybody does them. So that's not an excuse. You just got to do it. So that's probably what I would say.
No, I think that's perfect, because I know it can seem overwhelming. So I was just like, I wondered what Amber's opinion was on that. So
start small.
I love it. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? I think we got like less than a minute now. Okay. Well, thanks again, Amber. It was great. It was a great call.
Thank you.
All right.
Guys.
Have a good night. Love you. Mwah.